Hey everybody, welcome back. Thanks for tuning in again. We've got some more Steeda parts in finally. The mailman arrived, brought us all our stuff, so we'll be installing a couple more things on the car. You can go back, check out the other videos. I got a couple parts on here already if you happen to miss it. If you're new to the channel, if you like, thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming up, and you can go back and check out those other videos. But for now, I will turn you guys around and we'll see what I got going on today. And there it is. Today we got the IRS Subframe bushing support. If you've been staying up to date with the channel, you know I put the alignment kit in a while ago. It was my bad, but you should actually buy these at the same time. You'll see once we get under the car, they kind of go together with each other. But I was not thinking, so they came a little bit later. But basically I'm starting to get all the basic. They have different levels, but it's kind of the beginner level of the Stop the Hot kit from Steeda. The rest is actually in this box, so if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it. That'll be going on after I get these on. But for the easy or short version, this is for the front of the car. These two are for the back of the car. These look very similar, but if you look, this one is super thin, and then this guy's a little heavier duty. You can see quite a bit thicker, and the thicker ones go with the front, thinner ones go with the back. So if you're trying to get this in there and you're fighting it and it's being a pain in the butt, most likely you just got the wrong ones. So swap them around and you'll be good to go. And then this is actually, the oval part is a two-piece. You can see it comes apart there. It's got the little hole to thread it in. That side you got your tiny little hex head in there. It's a 4mm Allen key because you actually have to take this apart and tighten her down once she's in the car. So it's not, this is aluminum, so it's not necessary to tighten this thing like a madman. Just make sure she's tight, obviously, but you don't want to reef on it, because if you look in here, I don't know if you guys can pick that up in the GoPro or not, but it is threaded aluminum. They do use strong, good products. It is Steeda parts, but still, it's, in the end of the day, it's aluminum. You don't want to be reefing on it, so just to keep in mind. But basically, we will get this bad boy up in the air. It's another one of the things, if you have a lift, you don't really have to take the wheels off, but I'm gonna pop them off just to be able to get the camera in there easier, show you guys what's going on. And then once it's all said and done and this is on, we're actually gonna take the car out and do a full test, launches, corners, everything, because I heard the handling and launch is quite a bit different, even with the little beginner kit on there. So we will be testing her all out, so stay tuned for that. Alright, so the wheel is off. Got the light in here, so hopefully you guys can see a little better. This is the back. Basically, this bolt, your subframe bolt, has to come out. And then, like I said before, your thinner plate out of the two that look like this will go up in here. You can actually see, maybe if I get close enough, swing the light over to this side, possibly. No, it's kind of hard to see, but you can see just in the top corner there, there's a little notch cut out. And same thing if you come over to this side, you can see where the rubber just kind of drops down a bit. There you go, now you can see it. And basically that is where those two little notches will sit, and then the thicker rubber is here. I did the other side already. This, obviously, when you watch it on the videos, it looks like it just plops on there and sits, but it's actually fairly wobbly on there until you get it tight, and then it sucks it closed. And then this is your bottom two-piece on the back, and that actually goes in between. You can see this rusted spot, and then the bottom, it sits in between there. It's a big pain in the butt to get to. If you watch it on CJ Pony Parts, They make it seem like it just slips right in, but I'll show you the little trick I got to get it in there. Worked out fairly well, but I got this side just loosened for now, but I'm actually going to do the front first because it's just a little easier. Same idea. I already got my subframe bolt out. That's what you hear banging on the ground. And then you got your two little 13s here. That's these two. They got to come out. And then once that plate's out of the way, it's super easy. You get your thicker guy here. He goes on the top, same as the other side. And then this guy just slips on the bottom. And you'll see that easier once I get the plate out of the way. So hang tight, I'll get that off, and then we'll carry on. Alright, so now I just got the plate hanging there, decided I don't have to take it all the way off. But simple enough. Like I said, take the fat one. If you look up in here, you can see, if my hand stays out of the light, that little notch there, that is where the notches are cut out for, and then the rubber there is on the higher spot. It does have those two little, if you can see them, two little nubs on the top. That's what I mean why it wasn't sitting quite right. But let's see if I can get this on there. You just slip it in the top and she pops down, and that's what I mean, like it doesn't go right down, it still wobbles. It's got a little bit of play side to side, but just get it to sit there. And when you snug it up, basically what this does is in there is a little rubber kind of bushing. That's why it's the bushing support. And when you tighten it, instead of letting the rubber expand, now this is kind of squishing it inside this cylinder, make it all tight so you don't get any play back and forth. And then basically this, there's no top and bottom, but same thing, you can see you got your little rubber here, and then this is a cutout, same as that. You just line it up. It's a snug fit. You can push it on and it stays on there. Put your plate back up there, get your subframe bolt in, 129 foot-pounds, tighten that one up, tighten these two up, and you are good to go onto the back. Alright, front side's done. Just like I said, it's easy as that. You can see what I mean by once it's tightened up to the car. That's squished in nice and snug now. Same with the bottom. Basically that just stops the rubber from moving. Then we do also have in the garage right now the subframe braces. This little nut here, you'll see in the next video, is a part where you tighten down part of the brace. So sometimes I said I was going to leave it loose, but the other side actually lined up perfect, so I'm taking my chances on this side, because if the part of the brace doesn't quite line up, you got to loosen your subframe bolt and these two 13s again, and then basically you can wiggle that plate around a little bit to line it up. But the other side was dead on, so I'm not going to worry about this side, and hopefully it works. You'll have to stay tuned in the next video to see that, but hopefully she works out. Alright, on to the back. You can see I got the bolt out. This is the thin one, but if you look up here, she's pretty dang tight to get in there. I had the same thing on the other side, but it is rubber, so just give it a good push and it should go in. Alright, so we got the top one in, and what I meant by watching the CJ Pony Parts videos compared to these is that is a big pain in the butt to get in, because it looks like it's got lots of room, but to actually push that in there you need a lot of force. But what I ended up doing is I put this bar here, just pried down. You can see the subframe drops a bit, gives you enough room, can squeeze her in there. And then on to the next part, which is, you can see that middle piece there is rubber. That's actually where the part goes on. And before we get under the car, you can see this side has a notch all the way around, and this extra piece cut out here. Whereas the other side, you can see when it's together is all flat. Flat side down, that side up. The little piece is the inside. The big horseshoe goes straight in front of your face on the outside, which this part was fairly easy to get on. It is a tight fit. I know on their other videos I watched, some people lube it, but you just give that a good push here. You can see it goes nicely in between. You give it a push and that'll go on, but you don't want to put that on yet. You want to get the back in first, because the back was a huge pain. But to get it started, basically take it like this, and you want to roll it. If you guys can see, move the light, maybe get a better angle somewhere. I know it's kind of dark, but you want to roll it in the back, and then you'll go under the car to crank it over the rest of the way, because that is about as far as you can get it by hand. Give the light back. You can see it's kind of on a harsh angle, because the other thing you want to do when you get this on there, you want it to be pretty lined up with the oval down here, but we'll get underneath and I'll show you what I mean by that. Alright guys, sorry it's too hard to film under the car, but if you look, I kind of got it started now. Basically roll it around, try to keep pressure towards the back of the car, because you can see it comes out that side. Take your screwdriver and give it a good push. You can see it kind of turns, and then you'll need two hands for this part, but get your bar in there as well and kind of push it, or maybe I can do it with one. Push it from behind. I don't know if you can see it, just kind of fits in there. Pry it forwards, because you want it to try to line up as smoothly with this oval here as you can once the front piece goes on. And if you get it close enough, when you start threading the bolts in, it will pull itself in, but you want to make sure it's pretty straight, because it's not going to pull you back and forth, it's just going to suck it in together. This guy, you just stick here, give it a good push. Same thing, it will, if you look underneath now, it kind of goes a little cockeyed. Just try to keep it as straight as you can. Doesn't have to be 100% accurate, but give her a good push. She goes in. And what I mean now is if you come under the car and we look here, you can see it's not totally out one way or the other. It's pretty parallel with the line here. It could turn just a little bit, but basically that is what you're looking for. Get the light on there for you guys if I can. Alright, last little tip for you guys. Once you get the bolts in there, start them off with your Allen key. Like I said, it's a 4mm Allen key. And then, like I said with the CJ Pony Parts videos, if you watch their videos, every time they cut a scene, it's because it's a pain in the butt. So if you watch their video on this, he starts to tighten it up and then it cuts and it's all of a sudden tight. That's because with an Allen key, when you're sucking these together with the bolt, because there's so much pressure there, you can't turn an Allen key like that to get it tight. Well, one like that anyway. So I got luckily, it's a 25 mil or 25 Torx bit, you can see. And that is the same size. And then if you get it in there, you got the torque of your ratchet. It's a lot easier to snug them up. So that's how I did it. Otherwise, if you get one of those Allen keys with like a proper handle, it would probably be easier. I'd recommend a pretty long one, because you got all your, your exhaust, your sway bars, brake lines, everything in the way. So the longer the handle, the better you'll be off. And that's her. Put your bolt back in, same thing, 129 foot-pounds, torque her down. You can see what I mean up here. Everything sandwiches just like the other side. She's all good to go. This side's all good to go. So basically, all you have to do now is like and subscribe, because once we get the other brace on here, we're going to be taking the beast out, ripping around town a little bit. So thumbs up and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.